Hello, everybody. Happy week 4. Hope all is going well with y'all and all your classes. We were asked to read, we were asked to read Social Control of Mothers by Lisa Wade, and asked to choose one of the prompts, same as last week. What motives, what's something that stands out, something like that. So we were asked, the prompt that I chose, of all the motives we discussed, debunking, unrespectability, relativization, cosmopolitan, which one stands out the most and why. So the motive that stood out to me, that's the prompt I'm choosing, was debunking, and it the article highlights some stuff about social norms and controls, specifically being applied to mothers, whether, especially if it's like kind of in a bad way, something like public shaming or constantly surveilling them. I shouldn't say it like that, but like being in the spotlight, maybe. And so mothers are usually judged more harshly than fathers for behaviors like letting their children kind of do their own thing or working full time, because there's this idea that a mother is only for the kids, and if that's for you, then that's totally okay. But kind of need to realize that sometimes mothers are looked at a certain way, as if they're only supposed to do one certain thing, which is kind of what the debunking is about, right? So this is that letting the children play alone and working full time, as I was trying to explain, this is kind of like a social control that's often framed as being for the good of the child. It's for them, not for me, right? And the article really kind of debunks this idea, because the mother's behaviors are always based on a rational decision or individual choices, showing how those decisions were kind of influenced by maybe an expectation from society or pressures from society. Personally, it made me reflect on how gender roles, you kind of heard me kind of spew on it, right? How gender roles control a lot of who we are and how we're brought up, whether that's the mechanisms that we do in life kind of go unquestioned in a way. So it's like connecting that back to last week about how 50 causes, and they didn't want to move because it was based on not a decision necessarily that they wanted, but they wanted to be there, wanted to stay because that's their home, right? And they don't necessarily want to move away or do something that's way different than what they want, and a lot of people are already used to that, so they kind of just deal with it. The same can be said about this with how women are viewed in society, specifically mothers, right? I talked about, how sometimes mothers are judged more harshly. People will sometimes judge other people, especially their decision making or stuff that they do, or even how they make money based on where they live, just like the Picassos, right? So I think it's important that we kind of take a step back and reflect how we shouldn't judge a book by its cover necessarily. Even if you knew that person for a million years, you shouldn't judge them. Everyone can always change, and I think it's important that we are not on this earth just to do one thing, or not to sound like a TED talker, a public speaker, but we're on earth to do just more than one thing. Mothers aren't just supposed to take care of the kid. There's other stuff to do too, just like a father or a man or whatever, right? They're supposed to be that protector, but they also need to take care of the kid. They also have to do all these other qualities that this article is trying to highlight how mothers mostly do. And it shouldn't be frowned upon that a mother lets her child do her own thing, because my mom did that with me, and I don't think she should be frowned upon. And I feel great. I think everything's good with me. And my mom also worked full time, and so did my dad. So you can't say something is bad for one person and not bad for the other, especially when that is just a gender morality thing, because I think everyone can do everything. So in a short wrap up here, don't judge a book by its cover. Make sure you look into things, and don't judge someone based off something that is completely opposite of you. Look into the facts. Why do they do that thing, and does it define them? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you all later.